Crazy times in the basketball world. All right, so Baylor adds James Nnaji to the roster in late December. 7-foot center, pro experience, eligible right away. I don't think we need to get into a long conversation about eligibility rules or how people feel about them. They are what they are. The consequence is how high major programs are going to start thinking about mid-season roster problems and their international recruiting strategy. So super quick background update in case you're unaware of the situation. James Nnaji is a 21-year-old 7-foot center out of Nigeria. He was drafted in the second round by the New York Knicks. He was an intriguing prospect coming out of Barcelona. Although he didn't see much action in the EuroLeague or even ACB, he was just a 2.2 rebound kind of guy. The draft hype was pretty much just about his potential. At 7 feet tall with a 7'7" wingspan, good strength and athleticism, there was plenty of reason for teams to consider him as a draft and stash kind of player who may be able to come over and serve a rim protecting role at minimum. So this is a problem-solving move for Baylor for a variety of reasons. First, they just shut down their center for the year. He had an arm injury. Secondly, Baylor is a legitimate threat for the Big 12 title, and they need reinforcements heading into conference play. So Nnaji provides an immediate safety net defensively. He provides more lineup versatility because his interior presence is going to allow the guards to get up and play more aggressively. So he's just going to be a man amongst boys out there, 21 years old. He has the frame. He has the experience of playing against more physical competitors, tougher competition, stronger, grown adults. It's a plug-and-play situation for Scott Drew, and he's hoping that this is going to help propel his team to a Final Four. So this is going to be a major tool for roster building going forward. When teams realize their post defense isn't good enough, or they misevaluated a freshman or a new transfer, or if there are major injuries and you don't have the replacements on your bench, now you have an alternative. You can go out and get a guy playing pro ball in Europe and address your team's shortcomings in the middle of the season. Of course, you can do this with American players too. We saw that with London Johnson at Louisville, the kid at Santa Barbara as well. But I think the international pathway is more attractive to coaches because they're used to high-level professional training environments, and they're usually ready and willing to settle into a specific role. They're not long-term gambles. So these kinds of moves signal that coaches are becoming less sentimental about development timelines, right? Winning now is far more important than waiting for young bigs to grow up. And coaches have kind of already accepted that they're only guaranteed 1 year with a given roster. So why get attached or invested to a particular player? They can just up and leave anyways. So each year is a complete reset. And lastly, international talent is now a mid-season fix. It's not limited to off-season recruiting. So you have to be paying attention to what's going on overseas and keeping tabs on the guys that you were watching over the summer. And the reason is you don't want to make hasty decisions in the middle of the season, right? You want to have a good idea of the player's abilities, their strengths and weaknesses before you bring them over. You have to recognize the fit risk. Can he adjust to college pace and spacing? Can he fit in well with my team? And there's also a usage risk, right? Baylor has to actually use Nnaji in the right role. Scott Drew's obviously a very intelligent basketball mind, so he knows what he's doing. He's not going to look to Nnaji as a go-to scorer or something, have him playing a role that he's not equipped to play. And I don't think he promised any grand roles for Nnaji. I think he just said, hey, do you want to step in, get some more visibility, get some more playing time, and compete for a championship? And I think that was enough for Nnaji to make the move, along with whatever NIL compensation he's promised. But that goes without saying. So the other gamble is just the timing of it all. How fast can he acclimate? Is he going to be a liability in the first few weeks of the conference schedule, right? How long is it going to take him to understand Baylor's system and style? And this is another thing that, you shouldn't ignore, but how are the other players on the team who were there in the summer putting in work in the offseason, how are they going to take it when some guy from overseas they've never heard of comes in and takes the minutes that they thought they were going to be getting? So yeah, if this works out, I think we're going to see a lot more of it. This year is mostly just kind of like a trial run. If Nnaji fits right in and becomes a contributor and helps them go deep into the tournament, I think we're going to see every program in the country that can do this go for it. And maybe it does all come undone and messes up the team chemistry, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be the new standard until we get some clarity from the NCAA, from the House settlement. It's all such a mess right now. Congress is going to have to get involved, but until we get some of this stuff cleared up and stricter rules in place, this is what coaches are going to be going for. And I don't even think it's going to be like just a luxury kind of option for you. Like, I don't think you can afford not to pursue this. So make sure you know a good scout who can help you plan for the unknown, someone who can put 3 or 4 guys in front of you that can meet your midseason needs at the drop of a hat. And if you don't have someone you can rely on yet, I'd kindly encourage you to go check out my services at zmprospects.com. I do roster planning alongside coaches and analyze international players based on their specific fit with the team's style and priorities. So I encourage you to check it out. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next flight.